Hey, welcome. So today we're going to do something different, and I don't know. You have to stick to the end of this video to know what that is. So today we're going to be learning from another YouTuber called the name of the channel is Cody with John. So I'm going to leave the link to his channel below in the description. Click that link in the description to visit his channel after you are done watching this video. So if you can remember on my first video, I'm going to link that up here, or you can watch it in the link in the description. My first video, I said I'm going to be learning, or going to also be learning on this channel. So we're going to learn on a new topic. We're going to learn why Java creators rejected multi-inheritance and why. We're going to explain to us Cody with John. So let us jump right into our computer and start learning from him. So we're going to learn it on YouTube. So let's get right. So I've opened up my YouTube.
I'm loving this new YouTube layout. It's kind of awesome. This new YouTube layout is quite cool. So get on our headset and let's begin learning. So I'm going to start about now.
You've probably heard that Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. That was a very deliberate choice that Java's creators made, but why would they choose not to include a feature like multiple inheritance when so many other popular languages like Python and C++ have it? Also, I think they were correct. We're correct to leave it out, and I'll tell you why. Before we get right into it, I also have a full Java course available in a link down in the description. There you'll find dozens of videos exclusive to the course where you'll find tons of Java knowledge, so go check it out. Now, before we talk about why Java's creators chose not to include multiple inheritance, we first have to understand exactly what it is. Now, as you may already know, inheritance in object-oriented programming is when one class acquires the fields and methods of another. So as a very simple example, let's say I had this class called animal. Now this class has a couple of different attributes that would make sense for any animal, like say age and name, and maybe some kind of a method that enables that animal to make noise. Now then, of course, there are a ton of different types of animals that might have their own unique sorts of attributes. So I might have a cat class that inherits from the animal class. Now in this relationship, the animal class is called the parent class, or sometimes the superclass, and the cat class is the child class or subclass. By extending the animal class, the cat class automatically gets the fields and the methods from the animal class. A cat automatically can have an age and a name and some way to make noise, but you can also customize that method of making noise to make it specific to cats. So here's what that inheritance relationship looks like in the Java code. So this class, animal, is going to be the parent class to our cat class. So now in Java, if we want this cat class to be a
Whoa! See, I love this guy's tutorial. Like, I love his videos. So I'm actually subscribed to his channel. So if you haven't done that, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. And if you have to subscribe to this channel, because if you want us to do content like this regularly, then leave a like and leave a comment. Comment down below and tell me if you want us to do content similar to this regularly on this channel. So this guaranteed, and you can also follow along on your code editor. If you don't have the code editor installed or you don't have to install, watch the video. I'm going to link above my head and watch it. You can also click the link in the description to watch that video. I want to set up Java and an environment for Java development so that you can follow along with this tutorial or my tutorial. So let's continue on what's now.
Child of the animal class, all we have to do is right here at the end of the class declaration is add extends animal. So now any cat that we make will also have all of the attributes and methods of the animal class. So for example, back over here in our main method, we can create a new cat. We'll call it my cat equals new cat. And even though we don't have the make noise method defined specifically in the cat class, we can call my cat dot make noise. And each cat also has access to the fields that are defined in the animal class. So for example, I can set a name on my cat even though the name field is only defined in animals. My cat dot name equals Kramer. So this is how inheritance works in Java, but what exactly is multiple inheritance? Multiple inheritance is when one class has more than one parent class. So let's check out what that would look like. So here we have our cat class that extends from the animal class. Let's say that on top of that, we had another class that extended from animal called dog. And remember, there's nothing at all wrong with that. This is not what multiple inheritance means. A class can totally have more than one child class. But what if on top of that, we wanted to create another class called cog that inherited all the features of both a cat and a dog? In concept, that seems like it might be okay, right? But let's see what happens when we try to implement that in Java code. So let's hop over to our cog class. Notice right now it's an empty class. It's not extending anything. So first let's have it extend the cat class. Okay, that all seems to work fine, no errors. But when we try and add the dog class, we now get an error. And it says,
wow. See, when learning the Java programming language, you see how vast and interesting the language is. So, the main point of this video is that Java, when they were creating the Java programming language, right, changed because when it was creating the Java programming language, it didn't include many of the C++ features on the language. So let's just continue with this video. This guy has some great stuff to teach. So just listen to him and get the knowledge acquired.
Says class cannot extend multiple classes. So this is Java telling you flat out, you can't do multiple inheritance. You're not allowed to inherit from or extend more than one class. So clearly, Java doesn't allow multiple inheritance. But now the question is, why? What's the harm? What's the problem? A lot of people, when they talk about potential problems or issues with multiple inheritance, they'll talk about something called the diamond problem. Some people even call it the deadly diamond of death. Sounds pretty scary, right? Well, here's what it is. So let's say that we had our classes set up just like we do here. And then let's say that in our cat class, we implemented that make noise method in a certain way that would make sense for a cat. So in our cat class, it might make sense to print out meow. Terrible handwriting, but you get the picture. And then what if similarly over in our dog class, we implemented that make noise method in a way that made sense for a dog. So for a dog, maybe we would print out woof. But now we have this new cog class, which we're trying to have inherit from both the cat and the dog class. And of course, since it inherits all the methods from both of its parents, it's going to inherit the make noise method from each of those parents. But the problem is, it's completely ambiguous which version of the make noise method that this cog class should inherit. Should it inherit the functionality from the cat class that prints out meow, or should it inherit the functionality from dog that prints out woof? This problem is often
Whoa, okay, so you might be overwhelmed by this video, and if you're actually watching this video, it means you are interested in the Java programming language. So quickly subscribe to this channel and go back to his and subscribe. He's not sponsoring this video or anything like that. I just feel like learning from him and sharing my process with you. Already, I know Java programming language because I still love learning from coding with John YouTube channel. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel and please. So yeah, if it's kind of overwhelming for you, grab a book, grab a pen, take some notes so that you're able to have something like a quick reference for you to reference back to the video. So let's get started with this video again.
Called the diamond problem, perhaps for obvious reasons. The pattern of inheritance that causes this kind of issue is shaped like a diamond. So what does Java do about this? Well, basically, it just doesn't allow it. Java doesn't allow any multiple inheritance, so you will never run into the diamond problem. But like I said in the intro, there are other programming languages like Python and C++ that do allow multiple inheritance. So what do those languages do when the diamond problem comes up? For the most part, they just kind of pick one. And as the programmer, you just have to know how that particular programming language chooses which one that it accepts. For example, let's say that this was a programming language that did support multiple inheritance. If you were allowed to extend both cat and dog, and you were inheriting a method, the same method, from both of them, it has to choose which version of that method that it should inherit. And usually it would just choose the first one in the list that you're inheriting from. That can change a bit depending on the language that you're using, especially for really deep, complicated inheritance hierarchies. It gets really messy. Of course, the people who created Java could have done exactly the same thing. They could have allowed multiple inheritance, and then whenever this diamond problem came up, it could just pick one and call it a day. But instead, they chose not to, so why? Number one, they wanted to keep the language as simple as they could. If they allowed multiple inheritance, developers that didn't have a really good feel for how it worked, especially when the diamond problem came up, would run into all kinds of strange functionality and unexpected problems. And number two, in languages where multiple inheritance is allowed, it's used incredibly rarely. Basically, in a real-world scenario, there's no reason that you ever have to use it to do what you need to do. When they were creating the Java programming language, they modeled a lot of it after C++, which was a programming language that a lot of developers used at the time, and they did that to make it familiar with those developers, which makes sense. One of Java's original creators, a guy named James Gosling, actually wrote about it at the time. He said, "Java omits many rarely used, poorly understood, confusing features of C++ that in our experience bring more grief than benefit." And one of those was multiple inheritance. Now, honestly, this argument really resonates with me. I've been programming professionally in Java for more than 10 years, and I can't think of even one time when I was like, oh man, I have this big problem, and the only way I could possibly solve it would be with multiple inheritance. But I don't have it in Java. Curse you, James Gosling. Now, I'm sure some of you are just screaming at your screen right now with the perfect example of when multiple inheritance was the only decent solution to some problem you were having. If that's you, number one, let me know in the comments. And number two, I don't believe you. So, yes, it's true, Java does not support multiple inheritance.
No! Like, wow. So, as great as the language is, Java, it doesn't support multiple inheritance from a parent class. So, okay, you have a parent class, you created a parent class, in this video, you created a parent class of animal, then you created a child class called dog, cat, and cow. So, if you're trying to inherit two parent classes from a single child class, and in Java it's not supported. But other programming like Python, C++ is actually supported. So that was the point of this video. Try to know why it's not supported in the Java programming language, and that's why it's explaining it. So if you don't kind of get it clearly, I've linked his video down in the description. So while you're down there trying to click on this video, leave a like and subscribe, and make sure to comment if you like videos like this and want us to do it regularly. Comment to this video, and if you don't like it, also comment.
However, Java does support a class implementing multiple interfaces. That's different from multiple inheritance, but almost always gives you the functionality that you're actually looking for. And implementing multiple interfaces is something we do all the time, all over our code as enterprise-level Java developers. For example, in our situation with the cog class, we couldn't extend both cat and dog. That's not allowed. But maybe what we needed isn't really a class that is both a cat and a dog, because that concept doesn't really make much sense anyway. Maybe what we wanted was more of a cat that offers some of the functionality that a dog might have. Like, for example, the ability to play fetch. Well, when we want to specify something that a class is able to do, like play fetch, that's exactly what interfaces are for. Now, interfaces are a huge separate topic that warrant an entire video of their own. But briefly, an interface is basically just a contract. So it says, any class that implements me must be able to do these things. Then when a class implements that interface, they are required to provide that functionality. So for example, I have this interface called fetch. And inside this interface, I can add the signature of a fetch method. And it takes in no parameters and has no return type. So all this interface does is say that any class that chooses to implement this interface must provide their own implementation of this fetch method. So back over in our cog class, instead of extending both cat and dog, I can extend only the cat class and then implement the fetch interface. And now you can
Okay, now, if you're watching this video, you can see why I love
Coding with John tutorial. So he has actually found a way to, like, a way around that issue of not accepting multiple inheritance in the Java programming language. So you can inherit from a class, then implement from an interface that has what two classes are similar to have. Whoa. Okay, let me break that down a bit. So we try to inherit to two classes. We couldn't. We failed because it's not acceptable in Java programming language. Whereas we are simply using other programming languages like Python and C++. So what is the way around it? What is the alternate way to work around this problem or issue, if I may say? Is through inheritance. Now, in a single class, you can extend to a parent class and you can inherit. No, you can implement two interfaces. Interfaces are not limited to only one in Java language, right? You can implement two interfaces. So what we did, two parent classes have similar feature. I want to get that feature into a child class. Since a child class cannot inherit two parent classes in the Java programming language, we have to implement an interface that holds what those two parent classes are similar to have, instead of extending those two parent classes. So let's go to this video and just continue watching it. I love this guy's tutorial so much.
See that we're getting an error here, and it's saying that this cog class, because it is implementing the fetch interface, it is required to implement this fetch method. We signed up for the contract that said that this class will be able to fetch, but right now we aren't fulfilling the contract, so we have to add that functionality. We have to add that method. So let's go ahead and implement it. And if you're using IntelliJ, you can just hover over this error and click Implement Methods, and then hit OK, and it will provide you the method signature.
He said if you are using IntelliJ IDEA, so if you are not using IntelliJ IDEA, too bad. But if you want to use IntelliJ IDEA, I have a video. The card is above my head. I can watch it in the link in the description to install IntelliJ IDEA on system and set up for Java. So watch that video, how to install IntelliJ IDEA. I also watch the video how to set up IntelliJ IDEA, how to customize it for senior programmers coding. That video is also linked in the description. So while you're down there, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to this video.
For the method that you have to implement. Okay, so we are a cog, which is a cat that can fetch. So how would a cat fetch? So how about we would print out, I got the stick, but not because you asked me to. I did it because I wanted to. It will fetch if it pleases it to fetch. So now though, if I go all the way back to my main method, if I create a new cog object, let's call it my cog, equals new cog. Since cog implements the fetch interface, I know that I can call my cog.fetch. And now if we go ahead and run it, of course, our fetching cat works as planned. What's cool?
Yeah. So we actually we're going to work our way around that issue that comes with Java programming language by default. So we've actually implemented two classes, but one is an interface. Stick to the end of this video, and if you made it so far, I have to tell you a very big thank you if you made it so far to this video. So continue watching to the end, and so should the end.
Cool about implementing interfaces is that you don't have the same limitation that you have for extending classes. You are totally allowed to implement as many interfaces as you want in a class.
Yeah, like I said, you can implement as many interfaces as you want in the Java programming language. It is not limited to only one, like for a parent class. In Java programming language, you can only extend one parent class where you can implement different and multiple interfaces. So that's how we worked our way around this video.
Class. So back over in our cog class, in addition to implementing fetch, we can add any number of other interfaces. So we can implement runnable, comparable, deprecated, serializable. So you get the point, right? You can implement as many interfaces as you want. Now, of course, for all of these interfaces that you implement, you are required to then implement all the methods that they require you to implement. So if I hovered over this and said, okay, go ahead and implement all of these methods, I have a lot of work to do in order to fulfill the contracts that I've signed up for all the interfaces that I'm implementing. Now, the reason that Java gives you the ability to implement multiple interfaces but not inherit from multiple classes is that an interface specifies what you are able to do, not what you are. And it makes plenty of sense to allow a class to be able to do all kinds of different things. Extending classes, however, really specifies what a class is. And the creators of Java decided that in practice, it really made more sense to have a class only be able to extend one other class, rather than introduce what they considered to be a ton of unnecessary complexity into the class hierarchies. It's a lot more likely that you'll need a cat that can fetch than it is that you'll need some sort of mutant cat-dog hybrid. If you enjoyed this video or learned something, please let me know by hitting the like button and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss each new video. And if you didn't like this video, thanks for watching anyway.
I love this guy's video. So, if you didn't like this video, thanks for watching anyway.
Not really sure why you're still here, but I appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate all your support and comments. They really mean the world to me. And I'll see you next time.
Ooh, that was amazing. So if you've stuck around to the end of this video, I really appreciate it. If you not like this video, thanks for watching anyway. I'm copying exactly what he said. So just leave a like and subscribe to this video and a comment down below if you want us to do content similar to this and if you find this content from. Comment down below and tell me to do it. And I want to give a shout out to someone. There's a subscriber to this channel. He follows up on any video we release, and his name is George West. So thank you so much, George West, for all your effort and all your contributions to this channel. I really appreciate it. I really love as you are moving around the channel and following us to grow together. So he said we should leave a like. I'm already subscribed. So if you are not subscribed to his channel, go ahead and subscribe there. So I'm going to leave a like to this channel like right now. So I'm going to like the video, and what I just did there, do exactly the same thing on my own channel. Come down here and click this button. By default to be like this, so click the button to like this video. We have 1.2 thousand likes. I want to get there. So like my video too, the same thing I did here. If you're not subscribed, also subscribe to this channel. Me, I'm already subscribed to this channel. If you're not subscribed to this channel, and if you like content like this, make sure to comment down below. I want to see you next time. So goodbye.